So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the fight which has been announced this week, literally a couple of days ago, regarding Daniel Dubois and Oleksandr Usyk. Now before I get into that news, I'm just going to have a look through, seeing pretty much going to go through what's going on in terms of boxing this week. Um, but yeah, for those that watched the boxing on the weekend or were there live, what a phenomenal fight Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn was. Again, for me, probably the best fight that I've watched live, and probably the best event, I'd say as well. It was absolutely frantic in there. It was brilliant. It was like everything was like going to plan, as I'm guessing what they wanted, because it being the first ring show. It was a phenomenal event, and the fight pretty much lived up to what it was meant to be initially. I didn't think it was going to go how it went, but to be fair, I thought that fight was probably going to be a little bit of a stalemate towards the end, and maybe not going to be the fight of the night. I thought potentially maybe the Yard and Lyndon Arthur fight was potentially going to be the fight of the night for me, but that was a bore. But yeah, it is what it is, and this weekend we have a lot of boxing on offer and some very, very intriguing fights as well. I may do a video in regards to some of these fights, but yeah, this weekend we've got a lot of boxing which is on. It's a Fate of Fury weekend, I should say. One of the fights which is taking place in New York is going to be Ryan Garcia versus Roland Romero. On that card as well, we've got Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, and we've also got Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza. So some brilliant fights going ahead this weekend, and hopefully, you guys could let me know your thoughts in regards to these. That card that I just mentioned with Garcia and Romero, which is pretty much the main headliner, that's going to be taking place in Times Square. So it's going to be fascinating to see how they pull that off. But it is what it is. Boxing's moving in different ways these days. The next day as well, on the 3rd, sees Canelo versus William Skull. Now that's going to be in Riyadh. On that card itself, we've got Martin McCauley versus F.A. Ajagba. An excellent fight. And it'd be good to see what Martin McCauley could do after his devastating defeat last time out against Joseph Parker. Hopefully he could give us something to entice our appetite, because we still want him to be credible in the heavyweight scene. So hopefully what happened in Saudi back in February was probably just a mistake. And we've also got a rematch on there as well. Jaime Munguia, he's taking on Bruno Saras. Now Bruno Saras last time out obviously upset the apple cart. He knocked out Munguia. Surprisingly, no one had that. No one saw that coming. And it was a devastating knockout at the time as well. So hopefully Jaime Munguia could set things right and get back on his path. Because I do like Munguia. I think he's got a lot more to offer. And I think there's some bigger fights there for him. But he has to get past Saras first. And then we've got a veteran fighting as well in Badu Jack. Now he takes on a Noel Mikalian. Hopefully I haven't butchered that name too much. Okay, I don't know too much about Badu Jack's opponent, but yeah, see what he has to offer left. I'll see where he's gonna go. And then on the Sunday we have Inoue. Inoue's back in back in the ring. To me, this guy is always fighting, but it's always in his home country pretty much. Now Inoue's taking on a Raymond Cardenas. Hopefully I said that right. Okay, so that's the main event on the Sunday bill. We've got Rafael Espinoza versus Edwards Vasquez, and a few other fighters on there as well. Sorry, I made a mistake there. This is taking place in Las Vegas, not his home country. But yeah, a brilliant weekend of boxing. So yeah, there's a lot to go through there in terms of I might do a couple of videos or maybe just do a couple of post-fight videos after I've watched the videos in terms of these fights. It just depends on if I could get something out in time. Now, I'm going to go into the main reason why I'm doing this video, and that's pretty much to go through the news that broke this week in regards to Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Now, both of these are set to go at it again for a second time. This time, the fight's going to be taking place in London at Wembley Stadium on the 19th of July. So this will see the pair, as I said, meet for the second time. And when the fight was announced and they did the head-to-head, it kicked off a little bit. You know what I mean? Daniel Dubois, for some unknown reason, decided to push Oleksandr Usyk, and Usyk was pretty much ready to fight, and Daniel Dubois kind of was a little bit shook, or you know what I mean? It's quite surprising, to be fair, but this could be intriguing because the first time there was that controversy body shot, and it kind of broke Daniel's heart, and then he kind of quit later on in the fight when the going got tough. Oleksandr Usyk put it on him, and he just pretty much quit. So this fight's going to be interesting because Daniel's a different fighter now. He's more confident. He believes in himself. He's a heavyweight champion. So for me, if Usyk could get past Daniel Dubois, doesn't have to do it in style. He just has to win. If he could get past Daniel Dubois, this is going to pretty much go down as potentially, for me, probably his best win. Better than the Anthony Joshua one and the Tyson Fury one. And the reason why I say that is because Anthony Joshua, when he fought him the first time round, yes, AJ possibly underestimated Usyk, but it was a case where he like the blueprint was already there for how to beat Anthony Joshua. Yeah, and Usyk's a smart guy. And then when he fought Tyson Fury the first time, the blueprint has always been there of how to beat Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury hadn't looked anywhere near the Fury that we knew when he fought Deontay Wilder the first time and the second time. So he was a different fighter. Obviously, those fights took a lot out of Tyson Fury. So the blueprints have been there. Obviously, in this rematch between Usyk and Dubois, Usyk has already been in the ring, so he knows Daniel Dubois. He knows what he's good at. He knows what he's not good at. But what's different is that Daniel's got confidence this time. He's on a winning spree. He believes in himself, and he hits hard. So I could see Usyk getting hurt in this fight, and it'd be interesting to see how he handles that. For me, if he handles this, if he handles getting hurt and is able to stay composed, regain himself, and win the rest of the rounds, etc., then obviously to me is a phenomenal fighter because he's showing that heart, showing that durability. Because this is different for Oleksandr Usyk. So for me, this will be a better win if he could get past Daniel Dubois in the second fight. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Both guys fully confident. Both guys at the top of their game. Some would say that Usyk's on the way down, Daniel's on the way up, but Daniel hasn't really faced anyone else like Oleksandr Usyk. Because when you look at Gerald Miller, quite heavy, good skills, boxing skills, but very lethargic, very heavy as a fighter. When you look at Hrgović was lost for confidence at the time. His gas tank was always in question. His heart was in question, and he was in a different place. So it was a quite comfortable win. And he didn't really show any skills in that fight as well, realistically. Good right hand, but Daniel ate it and obviously gave him his own. And when Daniel fought Anthony Joshua was smoking, not smoking, but he was pretty much smoking on his own Kool-Aid at this point because he had a couple of good wins, thought he was back to himself, and Daniel just steamrolled him from the start. But I think a lot of that steamrolling was done through knowing what happened like earlier in their careers during the spars. So I think he just genuinely had that confidence that he was always going to do that against Anthony Joshua. But this time, going up against Oleksandr Usyk, to me, this is something different because this is someone that you've already been in there with. Yes, you caught him with a good shot, whether it be low or not. Yes, you hurt him, but it was scored that it was a low shot. But then you quit. He broke you down mentally. He broke you down, and you made you quit. So he hasn't really faced anyone like that. One of the only other people to beat Daniel Dubois is obviously what's his name, Joe Joyce, when Joe Joyce made him quit all those years ago. So and he hasn't faced him again, has he, Joe Joyce? Because he can't face him because Joe Joyce is on the opposite way down. He's going down. So he hasn't faced someone like Oleksandr Usyk. So this is going to be very intriguing, but certainly a fight that I'm going to watch. I'm not going to try and bid for tickets for this fight because I personally don't like Wembley Arena Stadium. I think depending on where you're sitting there, the views are not that great. So that's just my personal opinion. I've been there like 4 times to watch massive fights, all pretty much AJ fights to be fair. But I just don't like the arena for boxing, and it's just one of them. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in regards to what I've mentioned in this video, in regards to the fights that are taking place this weekend. 3 massive cards with some exciting bouts being taking place as well, and hopefully next week we're going to know more in regards to some other future fights as well, especially in the super light and the welterweight scene, as well as the middleweight scene as well, super middle as well. So yeah, some big fights hopefully will be announced, and this fight, which is set to take place in the heart of summer in the UK, who do you think is going to be the winner, Oleksandr Usyk or Daniel Dubois? And I will do a video closer to the time regarding that. Anyway, as always, please subscribe and comment. Bless.